Hello and welcome to the pod. This is where we talk all the latest theme park news, book news and much, much more. Welcome to the pod. Hello, it's Kieran here and welcome to the pod, episode 2. Let's talk about Hyperia at Thorpe Park. Recently it did, I think it's called Valley, and stop near the lift hill. This has led to a closure of Hyperia for a couple of days. However, today I have checked the ride availability page on Thorpe Park's website and there is no attractions listed, which I think means Hyperia has reopened, so you can now go and find your Fearless again. At Alton Towers, the Sky Ride has now been announced to be opening on the 30th of April 2025. This is after a 2-year closure, with last year being where a multi-million-pound investment has happened. This ride was set to reopen this month, which is April 2025. However, we were all expecting it to open earlier, however we're glad to see it open. Hex has also reopened after a nearly 2-year closure. It did reopen for a bit during Scarefest last year, but that was only a month, so it didn't last that long. Also, the Congo River Rapids at Alton Towers opened 1 day earlier than planned. Talking on the subject of Alton Towers, I know in the previous episode I was talking about the Toxicators opening day, but the Toxicators opening date not being announced. I know it has now been announced and Toxicator has opened and it has had rave reviews. I generally just couldn't find much more news about anything. Chessington Wild Asia is now closed for a new land. This is suspected to be Minecraft. Next, a bit of theatre news. Well, it's more podcast news, but How Very Hannah has now released. This is Hannah Laufer's, I think her name is, podcast about her journey through theatre. There has now been 2 podcast episodes, so catch up. Finally, a bit of book news. David Walliams has announced his new book coming out in May 2025. This is called The World's Worst Superheroes, illustrated by Adam Stower. This book is like the 8th in his World's Worst series about the world's worst superheroes this time. Previous books have been The World's Worst Pets, World's Worst Monsters, World's Worst Teachers, World's Worst Parents and World's Worst Children. Finally, we have 13 more days till Easter. So get ready for the chocolate. Thank you for listening to the pod, episode 2, and I'll try and get another one out very, very soon. Goodbye!